Hey, what's going on, everyone? So I misplaced my camera slash phone. It's actually in my friend's car, and I'm gonna be experimenting with my roommate's camera and just, new lighting and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see how this goes.
Supreme victory!
So not that long ago, I was just sent a video on Twitter, and it's by a lady named Agnes Toruk, and she's basically trying to reclaim the internet because apparently women used to own the internet, apparently. And so we got that lovely title. It's called Agnes Toruk and the Dangerous Women Project.
You stupid!
So immediately when I saw the title, I was just like, oh, this is gonna be good. And I only watched about a minute into it, and I was just already laughing my ass off. So I wanted to just pause it right there and just kind of try to react to it. So let's get right into this.
To speak while women write, while women exist online, while women is dangerous.
It is not dangerous. Now, I will admit that some stuff could happen, but that's usually when you're the wrong party, when you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing, because there's extra precautions you can take, like anonymity or whatnot, to be 100% safe on the internet, because pretty much nobody can touch you unless you allow them to.
There is an online epidemic of violence against women.
First of all, no, there is not. And I know why a lot of women, feminists in particular, think there's an epidemic because, out of nowhere there's been a lot of articles, a lot of feminist websites that are harvesting a bunch of mean comments, and they're making it seem like it's an epidemic, but it's not. This is the internet. I once compared it to the Wild Wild West, where pretty much anything can go. There is some law and order, but a lot of people largely ignore it. It's pretty crazy, but I like it that way. I'm pretty sure everybody likes it that way, and it's not a fucking epidemic. It's like saying when people laugh at a really like a joke that isn't that funny and they say it's hilarious. I'm like, you're fucking ruining that word. Like, it's not hilarious. There's not an epidemic. Like, fuck.
Don't believe me? Ask any woman who writes online, any female gamer or sports commentator, any artist or journalist, and you will find a backlog of death threat upon death threat upon rape threat upon rape threat, always rape threats.
And see, the biggest problem about this, it's not a gendered issue. This is something, just my channel alone, all the death threats and all the insane, crazy shit that I get about getting shot all the time, about, oh, they can't wait to see me, they hope they catch me on the streets or something like that. And another thing, okay, I can't really, I can't say that, oh yeah, rape threats are totally fine or whatever like that, but at the same time, 99.9% of the time people are joking. I've even gotten rape threats myself. One of the favorite ones is just like, I'm gonna fucking rape you, and I'm like, well, what? But seriously, usually when you hear people making rape threats, it's usually trolls, and they're purposely trying to upset you. They're trying to say the worst thing possible, and that usually is the worst thing. And the fucked up thing is when you let that stuff bother you, it works, and then they you're feeding the trolls, and then they're gonna attack you even more. So the best thing to do is just fucking ignore it.
How did it come to this? To generations of terrified men hiding behind screens, muttering violent utterings, whore, slut, cunt, feminazi.
There are plenty of whores, sluts, cunts, and feminazis on the internet. You can't expect nobody, like no woman, to be called any of that shit, especially feminazis like yourself.
Why are they so afraid of what we have to say that every time I post a new poem online, I will inevitably get the comment, shut the fuck up?
I don't know, is it because your poems are absolute shit? I haven't even seen them, but I already know if you're a feminist and you post poetry, I already know it's absolute garbage, because just look at the shit that you're talking about now. It's absolute fucking horseshit, and I agree. You really should shut the fuck up. You have every right to speak and put this garbage out there, but we have the right, and I have the right, to tell you to shut the fuck up.
To be dangerous is to speak while woman, to speak truth to power, to speak truth to power, to speak at all while woman is dangerous. Because when we decide to speak, we become dangerous women. When we decide to speak, we become dangerous to the status quo.
Hold up, no, no, no. You blogging and posting poems on the internet is not the same as old school feminist activism, you know, trying to get suffrage or whatever. And regardless how a lot of you people feel about that stuff, what I'm saying is there were a lot of feminist type issues that were very important, and I understand why there was a lot of protests and a lot of things, but you just blogging and you just crying about your fucking feelings is not the same thing. So stop using your bullshit propaganda to push your agenda. It's fucking garbage.
Because our voices can shatter glass ceilings. Because our words can tear apart silence woven shut over centuries. Because for us to choose to be heard instead of just seen is still revolutionary. When I speak online about women's rights to their own bodies, terrified little men threaten to hang me from trees.
Have you noticed she's already focused on saying they're scared or terrified and stuff like that? Like, that's not the case. You know, nobody is terrified of women speaking their mind. You know, they're just, for the most part, no one really gives a shit. Unless they start saying stupid shit like that, then yes, people are gonna get, including myself sometimes, might poke a little bit of fun, like I'm doing now. You know, if you were saying some very rational things, like if you were saying like, you know, I don't like getting all these death threats, I don't like this and that, you know what I would say? And if you said it in a very rational and kind manner, I would say, well, maybe you shouldn't be on this site or something like that, you know, because you know, it's the fucking internet, and it's gonna fuck with you. It's gonna fuck with you hard. I mean, I get fucked with a lot, but the thing is, I don't care. And if I cared like you, I would be triggered to the absolute maximum, and I probably wouldn't even have a YouTube channel. I mean, Jesus, fuck. What am I, like a minute into this thing? There's like 5 more to go.
To rape me out of my opinion.
You gotta admit, that's actually kind of funny.
To force me to stay silent. To force me to shut up. To become a dangerous woman. It's to decide to be heard instead of just seen. It's to decide that your favourite body part is not your tits or your ass or your waist, but your teeth, your tongue, your vocal cords.
I mean, I like a good mouth as much as the next guy, but I mean, that tits and ass though, you know, you can't really. I seriously don't know how anybody's gonna take this shit seriously.
Is to find that the most beautiful part of yourself cannot be seen by outsider because it resides within your mind. Every time I receive a wave of online violence and abuse.
I mean, you can make an argument for abuse, you know, but violence, that's the one thing that's just like, violence. I can't in good conscience say that like, yeah, you can be violent on the internet towards somebody. I mean, you can say a threat, right? But for the most part, it's pretty fucking empty, because what are you gonna do? Are you gonna slither through my fucking ethernet? Are you gonna fucking pop out and slit my throat or something and actually fucking rape me or make me chug bleach? I mean, for the most part, it's just trolls being trolls, and you just be like, ooh, ooh, I'm so scared.
I find it is the same thing. It is always from men. It is only from men. It is only from men. It is only from men. The first time I received death threats online, I was proud.
So that kind of contradicts everything you were just saying in the beginning, that you were proud when you got a death threat. You're like, oh, I'm dangerous. It's fucking stupid. But I mean, what's the point of this video? If you're saying there's an epidemic of this, oh no, this is so bad, and then all of a sudden you're saying, wait, this is almost like a badge of honor. I mean, shouldn't, I mean, why am I even doing this? I don't even.
Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again.
The first time I received a death threat for one of my poems, I was proud. But the 10th time, the 11th, the 12th time I received a death threat for one of my poems, I was tired. I was annoyed, I was exhausted, I was furious.
Bruh.
I am not the only woman facing this. Many women have it far worse online than I do. How many more? How many more women threatened with murder for speaking before we act up? How many more before we reclaim the internet as we reclaim our streets?
You know, she's just acting like this is something, like the internet is something that you absolutely have to be on. It's something that you have no choice but to be on, and then you just have to deal with all this shit. I was like, well, let me tell you something. You don't have to do this shit. You know what you could do? You could fucking manage, you can post somewhere where only your special snowflakes and your echo chamber is allowed, and then you can just hear nothing but positivity and good stuff. You don't have to post on an open forum and then hear criticism, because that's what you're really talking about. You know, criticism, and there's plenty of women, like I've said, that also criticize your shit. I mean, a woman sent me your video. Obviously, she doesn't like your shit either.
How many more men and young boys socialized into misogyny behind anonymous screens? This isn't helping men either. You know that, right? I receive letters of support from men every week.
Yeah, pussy has beta, man.
Men who are exhausted and struggling and terrified of trying to live up to the expectations of being a real man.
So I'm roughly the size of a barge.
This is about masculinity gone toxic and afraid. This is about a masculinity gone violent.
That's what I was waiting for. Toxic masculinity. When she started talking about all these beta men and white knights, I was like, when's she gonna say it? She finally said it. And so she's pretty much hit every key word you can think of: misogyny, toxic, you know, this, that, feminazi, whore, slut, trolls. I mean, she's literally like, just like, I know when she wrote this, she was like fucking hot keywords of like, bullying like terms or something like that. Mixed it on her fucking poem. She's like, here you go, look at me, this is fucking amazing, right?
Patriarchy, more patriarchy. Patriarchy is patriarchy, patriarchy, patriarchy.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
So I watched the rest of the video, and she's pretty much just rehashing and explaining the same stuff over and over. Keep using the same keywords: feminazi, dangerous, this and that. And it was pretty cringy. And I imagine, like, say, the women that are watching this video right now are cringing especially harder. And so I want to ask you guys, even though there isn't very many of you, maybe 20% of my audience is female, what do you think about this? What do you think about online harassment? Do you think something needs to be done, or do you even give a shit about trolling? Have you ever felt like uncomfortable, or like say ever felt like you feared for your life or something like that, or is it all good? I mean, I'm really interested to see how you guys respond, or what you think about this type of stuff. And I mean, you could, in short, if you're fine, you can just like say hashtag not a victim or something. You know, just be like not a victim. You know, piss off, or just elaborate, whichever. I'm really interested, and I'm eager to see what you guys have, so leave that stuff in the comment section below, on Twitter, wherever. Fucking battery cut off. Anyways, you all have a wonderful day, and Papa bless. Hey guys, thanks for watching this awesome video. If you dig it, please like and share it, subscribe to my channel, and I want to give a big shout out to my patrons: Troy, Zan, Sebastian, Hannah, Paul, Ian, Jason, Ramon, Peter, Moot, Black Hammer 07, Bex, Naja, Robert, Joseph, Jacob, Misty, James T, Obi, Brandon, Char Saint, Based Cripple, Arthur, and Brett. Thank you all so much for being my patron. And if you guys want to be my patron, you can find the link in the description or on this template. So you all have a wonderful day, and Papa bless.